So my first job after college, even though I loved video and I love sports broadcasting, I should have just listened to my intuition. I was like, I want to show that I could be like a businesswoman. And I got into sales because my dad's in sales and I was doing cold calling.
Wow.
I was like on that masochist vibe where I was like, I'm done torturing myself with tennis. Let's do cold calling. And the guy in the interview was like, do you realize you're going to get rejected all the time? And I'm like, yeah, in a match I win 6-4, 6-4. I lose like 40% of the points. So I'm like made for this. And after a year I was making like 6 figures and I was just killing it. But like in between every call, I just go to the bathroom and like look at the wall and be like, is this what life is supposed to be like? Like, this isn't fun. I don't like taking from people. And that's when I had to kind of search a little deeper within myself to be like, what do you actually want? But when you've been so kind of brainwashed or put in one thing for so long, you're not used to checking in with yourself. Like, I never checked in with myself while I was playing tennis. I just knew what I was doing and I was good at it. And I had my struggles and I was just working through my own struggles. But finally, I realized I don't want to take, I want to create. So I was selling digital marketing and then got a job where I was doing digital marketing for a t-shirt company. Turns out, not as creative as you thought, super boring. And it was like a 4-person company and I ended up basically doing customer service most of the time and then like some social media, which was kind of fun, but the high was gone.
This is only a few years ago.
So I was 22 to 23, I was doing sales. 24 to 25, I did marketing.
Okay.
So at this point, I'm getting up there.
But did you ever feel like
Empty? Yeah.
but also like, did you ever feel like because your whole life you probably assumed perhaps you'd be a professional tennis player, was part of that also hard for you to realize, okay, I'm not doing that right now?
I think that during those years, there's a reason why I wasn't like really listening to what I really want to do, and it's because I was still mourning the loss of tennis. It was like the worst breakup of my life because tennis was my relationship, and after it, I really did. They always say like, oh, you're gonna feel loss of a sense of identity. I just remember like going to bed and thinking like, why did I put my heart and soul into this for so long if I didn't go pro? And like I could have gone pro, but like it wasn't fun for me anymore. The highs of winning were gone. I just was avoiding the lows of losing. Like I would just win and feel nothing. And then I was like I had a lot of performance anxiety. I think I didn't deal well with like pressure from other people. Like if it's just for me, I'm like, good. But when it was like winning for my team or like my parents are spending a lot of money on me, I would just like I'd lose my forehand. I would lose my second serve. I was underhand serving at Wisconsin for like 6 months because I just like couldn't. I was playing 1 for Wisconsin underhand serving. Yeah, like I was kind of
gangster.
It was gangster because I would win. Like I'm messy. They called me like winning. I win ugly. But it was torture. Like, all I cared about was winning, and it was torture, and I wasn't in love with the game anymore, but I didn't even know that. But then afterwards, I'm like, why did I go through all this torture? Because I'd always be like, this torture is going to be worth it. I'm going to win the U.S. Open. And then I'm just, like, 22, like, no passion for anything, in bed, just, like, crying, like, why did the world do this to me? Like, which is very like victim oriented, but I just didn't understand. Like, I didn't see the big picture. I just felt like I wasted my whole life doing something that I didn't even love that much.
Well, it also feels like,
sorry, that got dark, but
no, I would imagine that the way that you bounced back was probably also because of tennis and because you had that fighter mentality that you need to be a successful tennis player. I
had this like emptiness after tennis where I didn't feel like I had a purpose. And it's so weird because I think I didn't find my voice. And then when I found my voice, everything changed for me. So
was there one big moment where you feel like, wow, okay, I found myself, I found my voice?
I think what happened is I think you just have to hit a real low. So I was in Vegas selling t-shirts for this company in this like stupid, like one of those big like conferences, and I'm just standing there for 7 hours, and then it was like midnight and we were putting in orders, and I was with my coworker and I was on the computer and I pulled up an old Wisconsin video of me like, and I was like, I would need to do that. Like, that's what I need to do. And I just in my head manifested like, I want to do video. I'm going to do video. I don't know what the extent. And I always deep down felt like, I recently was speaking to a professional tennis player, Julia Albaba. She's like, she won NCAAs. She's like huge in the East. And she reached out to me recently because she's like, I love what you're doing. And she's like, I've been injured. I'm having trouble. And I was like, you have to understand, when you're great at one thing, it's very easy to parlay it into other things. As in, like, what made me good at tennis, yes, I was naturally athletic, but I was good at tennis because I loved problem solving. I was a psycho workaholic. Had a weird belief in myself. Like, even when the girl was like so much better than me, I still believed I should win. And sometimes these things were bad, but sometimes they were good. There were just a lot of parts of me that made me successful in tennis that so easily parlay to real life. But the point is you have to find where to put all your special skills into something that you fucking love.